Talkin Sex Live with Chet and Diane is recorded in front of a live audience. This show is for mature audiences only.
Hello, you're Talkin Sex Live with Chet and Diane.
I am Chet.
And I'm Diane.
And
we are unlicensed sex therapists. We are a couple who just likes to have a lot of sex, and we want to share our knowledge with the world.
That's right. And we are joined by our awesome producer, Wells. How you doing tonight, Wells?
Hi guys, I'm good. How are you?
Hey, that's a pretty cool shirt that you got on there. And we also have cool shirts. Look at that. It's Wells on it, and it's one of our old posters. And I also have a shirt. You know why? Because we have a new Talkin Sex Live TeePublic page where you can buy these shirts just like us. I have Camp Chuckanut, Adult Nudist Resort, and then it says, remove shirt before entry, because you can't wear any t-shirts when you go to nudist resorts. Camp Chuckanut. Chuckanut's a real place up in Bellingham, Washington. Teddy Bear Cove. Great place. Beautiful. My lovely wife Diane's wearing an awesome shirt that says, stop looking at my eyes, my boobs are down here. And so it's just a fun play on words because...
Although, if you were reading that shirt, you would be looking at her boobs.
Yeah, it's kind of
a great shirt otherwise.
It's ironic, but you know, it's the word boobs just pops right out, and you look at them, and you're like, oh God, look at that.
As do the boobs.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so we'll bring up this page right now. So we are streaming live to Twitch right now. We are also recording for YouTube and also recording for podcasts. And so I will go ahead and describe some stuff for those who have not, who can't see this. So here's our TeePublic page, and here's one for Peter. It says, I heart polyamory. My partner's heart polyamory. My partner's heart polyamory, and it has the infinity.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we'll get that one for you there, Peter. And then, of course, we got Madame Meow Zhao's Pussy
Licking Club.
There he goes, mine. And then an old fetish. These guys are great. Das ist gut.
I saw them on stage once. They're very funny.
Krautrockers from Germany that come through. They do a good show. Hopefully they'll be back one of these days with COVID and whatnot. So then we have some old posters, Men Who Know Say No to Prostitutes. And then, of course, the shirt that Wells is wearing is about promoting safe sex and condoms. I take one everywhere I take my penis. It's a great shirt.
And he's holding up a condom.
Speaking of condoms, California just passed a new law. It is the anti-stealthing law. It's where a man cannot be having sex with a woman and take off the condom without her consent. And it's not a criminal law, but it is a civil law. So the woman can go ahead and declare a lawsuit or file a civil case against the man if this is to be signed into law by Gavin Newsom. Sorry about that. Good old Gary Newsom.
Gary Newsom.
He's a write-in for the recall election.
Yes.
So if you want Gavin Newsom to sign that into law, make sure to vote no on the California recall coming up on, is it Tuesday, right, guys?
The 14th, right?
14th.
Yes.
Yeah, Tuesday. What I wonder with that is, like, how quickly does he leave if they vote him out? Like, is the car just waiting for him at the mansion in Sacramento? Or is there, like, because it's not as long of a transition period as there is for president.
They just throw him out. They just throw everything out.
They just get rid of it?
I don't know.
But this is starting to feel like a whole other show.
Yeah.
Oh. But I will say, it's stunning to me that was ever not illegal.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing that you could sue. I mean, it sounds like it's just rape.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see how that's really dramatically differentiated. I understand, the argument that you're already having sex, but again, you're not having the sex this is not the sex that was consented to. The act is not something you consented to. It's just like if he shoved his penis into her mouth without her permission, that's not fine because they were already having sex. I don't understand the logic as to why when I say I don't understand the logic as to why we needed this law, I agree with the law. It's crazy to me that we needed the law that this wasn't already covered.
Because we're still in a male-dominated world. That's why.
Right. It should have already been part of the process. This is just not okay. You don't. The expectation is it's safe.
But
sorry, I don't normally get this heated, but this is a moment.
Yeah, it's a good thing to be heated about. I wanted to add,
consent is very important in my world.
It is super important. There is so New York and Wisconsin tried to pass a law as well, and the same one, the stealthing law, or anti-stealthing law, and it failed. And and that's it. Just we're the third state to try to pass this, and we got it through, and that's fantastic. But all right, yeah, like you were saying, Peter, there, it should be just kind of universal. Rape is rape, and without consent, anything that you do sexually without consent is considered to be rape. That's a good segue there to go to our first caller. I don't know. Do you have anything to say about that, Wells, or do you want to go ahead and just bring whoever's calling in there?
No, it's interesting timing because Texas just passed that anti-abortion law, which is also a civil case law where you can sue someone and bring a civil case against them. And now this is also a civil case law, not a criminal, but the complete opposite. Yeah.
Certainly, I think if Texas takes their anti-abortion stance seriously, they should certainly be passing one of these laws ASAP, since this would absolutely be one of the ways an unwanted child is brought into the world. Yeah,
it's like we're trying to prevent pregnancy by producing condoms and safe sex and access to birth control and access to sex education to educate young people about what happens when you have sex, while meanwhile the people on the right are trying to just prevent abortions and don't give a shit about anything else about sex.
And they absolutely will not pass a law like this. I guarantee you. But we do have our first caller.
Okay.
This is Colin. He is recently an empty nester. It sounds like he and his wife are interested in swinging, so he wants to know how to approach that situation with other couples.
All right. Hello. You are talking Sex Live with Chet and Diane. I am Chet.
I'm Diane.
And is this Colin?
Hello?
You there, Colin?
Did Colin call in?
Colin calling in. Oh. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, God, that was ominous. I thought you were going to, kill us.
Empty nester, I was really worried something had gone very wrong.
Were you hooked up to an EKG there and you flatlined? I was like, no!
No, my headset wasn't working.
Oh, got it.
So I had to disconnect from it.
Got it.
You have a question about swinging, is that correct?
Yeah, Colin.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah. So listen. My wife and I, we just sent our youngest off to college, right? So now we got this house. It's just the two of us. We're finally empty nesters, and we want to have a little fun. So, but here's the thing: is that we're a little worried. We're a little shy about it. Like, I don't want to ask any of my friends. She doesn't want to ask any of her friends. Because of we don't want to start people talking about us and stuff.
That's one of the big things about trying to swing or have threesomes. It's difficult to try and approach people and talk about it because the rejection's there, and you don't know who's into this unless you just casually talk about it and somebody else brings it up. It's very difficult. But go ahead, you keep on going.
Oh no! Well, that's basically my question. Is how do we even start? Do we just go hang out at a bar, or do we? Is there like an app like the what's it, Cheryl? What's the dating app they talk about? The what? Bees and coffee? Yeah, is there some kind of app for like people who want to add a third?
Lots of apps. If you don't want to join one of these apps, all you got to do, and you're already on, like, if you just want to join a normal dating app like Tinder or OkCupid, you can just put in your profile that you're a couple seeking another person. And
if you're looking for a three-way.
And you can specify if you want it to be a male or a female or either or. If you want to get on specific apps, you have to actually pay for them. Some of them are just specific for threesomes. There's like three-erder. I don't know how to pronounce this one. 3RDER is one. Field, FEELD. Some of these you have to pay for. Some of them you don't. Threesomer, it's like the number 3 and then SOMER. These are all apps that you can download. There's Get It On. That's another app. They also have, you can just do for
even just OkCupid, as Chet was indicating, some of the common sites, as long as you're clear about it, most of them are built to understand that, poly and casual relationships, and you kind of combine those, you put the right terms in there. Those are certainly angles. And the other thing is there are plenty of online communities, forums. There's Reddit, which, Reddit's all over the place as far as its politics and other concerns. But the beauty of it is that there are many, many communities in Reddit that you can go into and find one that's very specific to your needs and interests, and you can then connect with people on there, and it can be as anonymous as you want until you want to get a personal connection with somebody. There's even Twitter. I mean, you can have a joint account between the two of you if you're feeling a little bit expositionist. You can maybe show off a few photos of the two of you together and use a few hashtags in there, such as swinger and maybe the rough area you're in, and you can find people that way. There's a lot of techniques.
Yeah, I heard that there is some, at the start of the pandemic, they used to have Zoom orgies where you could go ahead and actually do just a chat room, like a video Zoom chat room where everybody's just having sex. But I think they outlawed that. Zoom put a crackdown on that, so you can't exactly...
I mean, it requires somebody to report it. But there's plenty of other online video chat services that you can try. I mean, absolutely, that's what some of my partners and I, who were quarantining separately from one another, we would connect with each other on there during the worst of it. And obviously, it's not the same thing, but it's helpful. And if you do that online with people who you're not yet connected with, it can help you ease your way into it and feel more comfortable until you get the opportunity to actually meet someone in person. And maybe that helps you build up to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what are you interested in trying out there, Colin?
Well, we're not even sure. Like, maybe just have someone watch us at first. I don't know. We're not. We've never done anything like this. We're just like, we've been talking about it, while the kids are out, and now they're gone. So we're thinking, I don't know. This internet thing sounds interesting to start with, maybe.
You can also explore fantasy first, just to see what you guys are more into, because you're unsure of. You can watch porn with threesomes, and then you can talk about what your fantasies are with each other, and just to get going. Yeah. And that's a good starting point.
Wells is actually very heavily into different dating apps. What would you give advice for there?
Well, the only dating app I'm on now actually is Hinge, and that's because I'm not a fan of swiping, and you get to see the people who like you on Hinge. So that also may help you just get straight to the point, because you could be very blatant about like, hey, we are a couple, we are looking for this, and you wouldn't have to swipe or waste your time with any of that. You could just see who liked you and go from there. And obviously from reading your profile, they would know what you're about.
Okay, so how do you like people on Hinge? What do you do to like people on that one?
There's a little heart button.
Okay. So, but is there profiles that you like you go through, or is it just
very similar to OkCupid?
So it's not a swipe, it's just a heart button. But then
no swiping.
There's no stupid algorithm where you have to try to like figure out who's the person who likes you and keep on swiping.
Because you can see them.
Okay.
If you the thing is, like, if you want to see all the people who liked you at the same time, you need to pay for it. But if you're a man, you don't get that many likes. And I'm assuming it'd be the same thing if you were a swinging couple. You don't get that many likes per day. So you can just go through them individually. It's not a nuisance. That's what I would do.
So that one's Hinge, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to write all these down. There's so many. We got married way before, dating apps were a thing. So we don't know nothing about it. My daughter, Brittany, though, she's always, oh, God, don't even get me started.
So,
she's always on this.
What is Brittany into? I mean, I don't know. You probably don't talk about sex with your daughter,
with that
which is weird.
I mean, she's off at Cabrini now, so I hope she's in there studying.
But
to be honest with you,
I'm more about which. Sorry, I misspoke. I meant to say.
About apps?
Yeah, what apps does your daughter use?
Oh well, so what was the app that you saw Brittany messing around? What was she on? The Tinder? She on that Tinder? You don't know. Oh, we don't know. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if she's on Tinder,
every time we come into the room. Oh, you can do it on any of those dating apps.
Yeah, pretty much any of them, but probably not Bumble. I don't know if Bumble would do it.
Maybe for your own comfort, you pick a different dating app than the one that you know your daughter's on.
Yeah, it'd be a little weird to see your parents pop up as a swinging couple.
Why didn't
Although
you like me?
You can pick your age range, so you're not necessarily going to see your daughter.
That's good.
Yeah. Or if you want to pay some extra money.
Just want to be.
Yeah.
Would you say the money ones are a better bet, or like because like I said, we don't want to cause any gossiping at church or anything like that. We just want to explore this life before it's over.
Exactly. I mean, if you just are looking for something to spice your life up, then this is a perfect thing for you guys. I wouldn't know. I mean, I guess the dating apps where you have to pay money, it depends. If for something like threesomes, you're not looking for someone like meaningful, like you're not looking for a good relationship, I would not go with it. But what are you saying, Peter?
I mean, by the paid ones, what you're doing is you're paying to reduce the number of people you're seeing to those who are as serious as you are about moving forward with it. Because otherwise, you get all the other people who are on there for free, which includes a ton of catfishers and a ton of scams and a ton of robots, and also a ton of people who are just there to goof off and aren't going to take it seriously. On the other hand, though, you are also just essentially narrowing yourselves to people who have enough money to afford to pay for it. And, that's its own classism concerns, perhaps, for some people. So it's a mixed bag. But I think, generally speaking, if you're paying for it, you're indicating that you're taking it seriously to a level that other people may not. And so that's probably the only advantage. But you could always start free and see how well it's working for you.
Yeah, I would recommend with starting free, and then if it's not the start of quality that you're looking for, then move on to do some research and move on to one of those paid apps. So.
All right. Well, that's really helpful. I had no idea that the dating apps even did that.
Mm-hmm. You got to be aware when you do these group sex or like these swinger parties is you have to communicate with your partner as to what you're open to. We've talked about this a lot on this show, but it is very important to set boundaries before you go and to check in while you're there, and also to talk about it afterwards in case there's anything that made you uncomfortable. You always want to be upfront and honest with your partner, and you don't want to cause any type of problems or drama down the road there. So
make all the rules ahead of time.
Okay, those are real good points. I'm gonna try to remember them, and we'll have a conversation before we do anything.
Yeah, that is the best way to go right there. Colin, hopefully we pointed you in the right direction and answered your questions. Do you have anything else you would like to add, or?
No, I don't have anything. Cheryl, do you have any other questions for the sex people?
Oh God, open up a can of worms.
She's got her allergies.
Oh, it's all right.
She's got her allergies right now. She can't talk.
Okay.
But thank you guys. You guys have been really helpful to us. Thank you.
No problem. Well, have a good night there, Colin. Appreciate you calling in. Stay sex hot positive, my friend. Night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Well, gosh, I felt like we have chatted about these swinging and sex parties and whatnot. It's good to bring it up again. I guess this is more
so about boundaries and figuring out what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, this is more specifically for an older type. Also for, I guess we went really hard into the whole app there. I guess this is also something that should be done if everybody's been vaccinated. I mean, COVID's still here, it's still around, Delta variant's going crazy. Being safe. If you're not vaccinated, just go ahead and be tested. Even if you are vaccinated, go get a test before you do this stuff. You don't want to put yourself or others at risk.
Don't forget about STDs, folks. You still gotta watch out for protection.
All the same rules apply that apply to normal dating, although it's multiplied. So you have to be careful.
I mean, all the sex parties we went to, there was a test on site. We went to some pretty high end stuff there. But have you been into any, Peter, where like it was all condoms or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that honestly, in this day and age, that's really more the norm than it used to be, and that's a good thing. There are certainly plenty that aren't that way, and you have to know. I mean, talking about the stealthing concerns and the consent, it's generally stated ahead of time. At least if it's done right, you're told ahead of time what you're going to be getting into and what the expectations are, and you make those. And many of them require recent STD tests at the door if they're not going to use. I mean, even with the condoms, especially, honestly, they do those as well, and it's kind of an expectation, just like in the porn industry, where you show up to set with an STD test taken in the last week. It's kind of like going to school now with COVID. So it's that in a lot of ways, the kink communities, at least some of the more responsible ones, were way ahead of this and already were used to these types of expectations. And so, the safety is always a priority.
So I just, when we have threesomes, we set our boundaries, so I can't put my penis into the other female. So I've never had a threesome where I've been putting penis back and forth. But have you been in one where you put on a condom and you have sex with one girl and then you take it off and you put on another one and you have sex with another girl, or is that not something? Or
I mean, if it's an orgy, if it's a group sex situation, then absolutely that is exactly how you would do it. I mean, it's just like just like a sandwich artist at Subway taking off their gloves and replacing them before they move on to the next sandwich. I'm not sure how good a metaphor that is. Depends on just how much you like sandwiches.
Yeah. But you make sandwiches when you have sex with threesomes.
There we go.
Yeah. Or wobbly H's or Eiffel Towers.
Depend on the threesome.
Yeah. Or if it's just three girls, that's a whole. You make a pretzel or a circle or triangle. It's all beautiful, really. Wells, have you had a threesome, or are you thinking about the group sex? I think we've asked this before.
I would love to do that.
Okay.
I have a hard enough time getting one person to like me. So, have yet to get two at the same time.
Wow. Well, we are going to talk about later in the show our quest for our multiple orgasms as a couple, and it would be beneficial for me because I am able to now last a super long time with this whole process that I will go ahead and talk about later. But I think we might have another caller coming in. I don't want to have that person wait for too long. Wells, do you have somebody else calling in there?
So we have Jimmy, and he says he's going to pitch us some sex toy ideas.
Oh, all right.
Hello, you're talking Sex Live with Chet and Diane.
I am Chet.
I'm Diane.
And is this Jimmy?
Chet, Diane, what's going on, kids? How y'all doing?
Oh, wow. You sound very spunky. We're doing well. We're having a good time. How are you doing tonight, Jimmy?
I am doing good, my brother. Doing real good. I don't know if you recognize me or not, but I happen to be Peter's brother.
Oh, that Jimmy.
What's up, bro?
Okay, I thought your voice sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Jimmy?
So, how long has it been since you guys talked there, Peter?
Oh, God, I want to say, what are we at, 10 years?
Good 10, 15, something like that. It's been a bit, but hey, still love you. Still love you. Waiting for your call, but that's okay.
No, I'm sorry. I've meant to get around to checking in on you. The love's always there. I mean, we had the shared childhood together. It's hard to kill that.
Look,
why
Peter,
did you want to check in on us on the show. It seems like an odd place to reach out.
Well, I'm just, I want to reach out because, there's something that's kind of come up in my life, and I actually would like, your input. I like Chet and Diane as well, because I think this is something right up their alley. And by alley, I mean holes.
Whoa.
So basically,
Classic
I haven't
Jimmy.
told you this in a while.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
No, I'm sorry. I was because kind of flashbacks to the old days. No, go on, Jimmy. Do your thing.
Okay. All right. So I know you've been into the dildo, studies and expertise and all
Sex
that
toy
stuff.
experts,
And I know Dad
right?
was
Sex
talking
toy?
to you.
The dildo studies.
The dildo
No, this
studies.
is the old dismissive Jimmy I remember. No, go on.
Yep, dildoologist. So anyways, I remember, Dad talking to you a while back about y'all opening up your own, sex toy emporium in Van Nuys and stuff, and it just got me thinking, I've actually been making my own sex toys.
Oh, really?
And I've opened up an Etsy store.
Oh, okay.
I've got a few people buying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want your kind of expert opinions on it. I think I got some great stuff here. And Peter, I would absolutely love to partner up with you on this.
Whoa, man, business deal right now here on Chet and Diane.
All right,
Talking live sex.
Mhm.
I'll keep an open mind on this one.
It's Shark
What do you
Tank. It's Shark Tank here, folks. All right. Okay.
What do we
What's
got
your
for
idea,
us,
Sam?
Peter?
Okay.
Or Jimmy?
Jimmy.
Sorry. What's your last
No,
name
that's
again,
okay.
guys?
You'll-
I don't. Sorry, don't bring it
For
up.
both,
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Oh. Peter doesn't like when I pull out the H.
No, it's
He
all
doesn't
right. We don't
like
have to
that,
talk
but you
about
know
it. It's
what?
a little uncomfortable.
No. I mean, look, I'm always going to represent my last name.
Mm-mm.
I'm totally fine with being a Hitler.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope. That's
no,
where
I
we
remember
ended it.
just
So-
how fine you were with the name,
Yeah.
Jimmy. That was always a sticking point for me too.
Mhm.
So is it, can it be called Hitler's sex toy products? Is that
No,
what you-
definitely not.
Nope, definitely
Definitely
not a
will
chance of
have
that. No.
Well,
on
my
any
my
sex
my
toys,
Etsy
so-
store is, Hitler's homemade sex
Oh
toys.
God.
Oh.
No.
Hey, it's all about
Okay.
branding. You know
There's
what
so
I'm
many
saying?
different
Yeah, no,
levels
it
of
is.
wrong on
It
that
is
one.
all about branding, Jimmy. I'm going to agree strongly with you there. And if we're doing the Shark Tank thing, I'm already going to say I'm out on branding alone.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
the
all it
name
needs.
alone.
Ouch.
But
Ouch.
if we were to change
Okay.
the name, what type of ideas do you have there, Jimmy?
If we're changing the name,
Mhm.
I totally get it. I know where he's coming from. But Peter, if you're in this with me, we're brothers. We're going to call it the Brother Hitler's
No,
homemade sex toy.
no.
Okay.
Just
All right,
brothers.
you're still stuck on the name here, and I'm very
I don't
much
think the
also
name's
stuck
right.
on the name in the other direction.
Mm.
Let's go to the products,
Yeah.
and then we can talk about branding if
Yeah.
the products
Even
are worth it.
brothers'
Okay.
sex toys is not good. It just means that you're gonna have sex
I
with your
mean,
brother.
I mean, maybe
You're-
currently with the whole step bros and step sis
Yeah.
thing and all of that, maybe that works for some
stepbrother
people.
sex
So
toys,
yeah,
but, all right.
all right.
Well,
Anyway,
what are
Hitler
these
Bros
ideas?
dildos. Hitler Bros dildos.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Ideas.
Okay.
Let's hear.
All
it.
right.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So here it is. Okay. So my first thing, we're going to start off small here. Okay. Chet, Diane,
Mhm.
y'all love nipple clamps, right?
Sure. Who doesn't like nipple
Okay.
clamps?
I know you're freaks. Okay. So I have
Let's avoid words like that,
Yeah,
Jimmy.
there's
We
no-
talked about this in the
yeah,
past.
we're not kink shaming. Freaks is not
Yeah.
not a word we don't like to say.
okay. All right.
right.
Whatever. I know y'all like to fucking.
Mhm.
So paper clip nipple clamps.
That is too cheap. That is too cheap.
Now,
No
see,
one's
now
gonna
what
buy
I do is I bend it in such a way to where it kind of will hold on to the nip, the tip of the nip with the tips of the paper clip, and if you pay $20, you'll get 100 pack
No,
Staples quality paper clips. I am
That's a-
telling you,
that's a terrible idea.
telling you,
Sorry, I'm sorry. That's just
Terribly
awful.
awesome.
Nobody would buy that.
I mean, literally, you can make that for free.
Yeah.
You can, if you work in an office, you can steal some paper clips, bring them home, and put them on your nipples, and yeah, heck, you could do it in the office, and people may not even know, depending on the thickness of your shirt, and it's free.
Yeah, or you could just make a blog just to say how to make homemade sex toys. Like Etsy, you actually have to make something or have something tangible that's original that you can sell, something that's hard to find.
Yeah, you can't just you can't half-ass this, Jimmy. I know you always like the get rich quick schemes, but this is you actually, if you're going to make a product and sell a product, you have to make the product. All right, I'm sorry. I've had this argument with you a dozen times. I don't need to do it again.
It's all right.
No. Totally fine. No, this is all great stuff. All great stuff. I'm writing it down in the notebook right now. Okay. Next thing I've got, and I know Wells is going to love this one. Okay. I take a toilet paper roll and I stick a banana peel inside of it. Banana peel inside toilet paper roll. Huh? Is that not $1 million idea or what?
It's literally not $1 million idea. I'm sorry. I know you said Wells, but I can't. Jimmy, this is classic Jimmy here. What you're talking about is the equivalent of like prison sex toys. This is like if someone made one of those 10 life hacks videos you see on Facebook, but for sex toys, this would be even below the level of the quality of the videos that they put out on there. Banana peel in a toilet paper roll. Oh my God.
Peter, you are a genius. I did not even marketing to prisoners. Think of all the cigarettes we could get from that.
So I mean, if you want to talk about making sex toys, there is some ways to actually do it that would be beneficial. But these are just ideas that are just like something that a child would make or something. So
let's not use the word child.
Well, I mean, yeah, sorry, that's we went a little weird there. But I mean, saying like these are like kind of primitive ideas, like a mind of a child, basically, not so much
like a teenager. This is how a teenager masturbates alone when they're experimenting. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. It's great when you're young and trying to figure out how your body works and you don't have the money and you can't legally buy professional toys. You figure stuff out and you experiment. And that's the phase you're at, Jimmy. And honestly, I feel like it's the phase you've always been at. You've never migrated past the mind of a teenager when it comes to this stuff or just about anything. You got to commit to adulthood, Jimmy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, how old are you, Jimmy? I didn't catch that part.
He's his older brother.
Is he older? Then you just haven't gone beyond the age of a teenager, the mindset there?
Hey, man, I'm 45 years young.
Oh,
what can I say?
Okay. Well, I mean, we do have some home sex toys that you can make that are safe, but you can't sell these things.
Why don't you tell them your towel?
Yeah, there's of course, latex gloves are very expensive right now because of the pandemic, but if you have a latex glove, if you're wearing them, what you can do is take a towel, you lay it flat on a surface, you fold over the top 2 inches, so it folds away from you, and lay it flat. Then take a latex glove and then lay that kind of flat as well, but with about 2 to 3 inches sticking up above the flat laid out towel. And then you roll the towel over so it rolls, and so you have about 4-inch circumference towel there. And with the latex glove sticking out, you then take the ends and then you pull it over the 4-inch circumference towel, and then it looks like you have a kind of looks like a butthole, like an anus. But Also, sorry, you put a little bit of lube into
I was going to say
the
that's going to
latex
chafe
glove
really badly without
before you put put it in there. Sorry, it's been a while since I've made one of these. This is
you have Diane. You don't.
Yes,
need
exactly. I haven't made one in a very long time.
Chet tricked me with this one though.
Yeah, I told him to put it.
Burned his penis.
Yeah, I told him to put it in the microwave, but not more than like 3 or 4 seconds. And I think Wells did it.
Did you do minutes, Wells? Did you do minutes?
No, I did seconds.
And it burnt your penis?
Yes.
I don't know. I've done it before where I heat it up for just a couple seconds.
It in.
Yeah, well, you must have a really powerful microwave.
Just the tip, Wells?
Just, yeah.
The tip was all that I could get in because it was so hot.
Yeah. Also, you have to let it cool. The thing is, it'll cool down really fast. Though. I know. I apologize. I still regret that, Wells, and I'm sorry. But if you put your penis in there, it feels almost like the real thing. Pretty close. And you can also squeeze the towel to regulate the pressure of the... I don't even know what to call this thing. I heard it was called a shishi, but I don't know why that would... A shishi? Yeah.
My shishi?
My shishi. And so, yeah. But, it does a pretty good job. But if you're a larger man and your penis is longer, you find that your penis kind of starts going into one of the finger holes, and it's really tight, and it can be somewhat pleasurable, but if you try to get the whole thing in, your penis isn't going to fit in one of those finger holes, and I guess it depends on the penis, on how thick it is and whatnot. But it's for a homemade basic pocket pussy there, it's not a bad thing.
Get an extra large glove.
Yeah.
If you're well endowed.
But I mean, like I was saying, gloves are expensive now, so I don't think you're really cutting corners with that. Just go ahead and buy actual pocket pussy.
Yeah, just go buy a toy. You can get some very good ones for like $30 to $40. I always push Tenga as a fantastic brand, and they have some very expensive ones, but they've got some like $40 ones that are really, really good. Just invest.
And Jimmy, we're gonna leave you with this. We have an idea that Diane and I had for a sex toy, and if you want to take this, we will go ahead and give you this. All right. So it's a shampoo bottle that you see in your shower, but then you take out the base, and there's a dildo inside, or a butt plug, or a vibrator, and then you take out the top. What's in there? That's a pocket pussy. So. What's the actual pump? That's lube. So you pump it, you got your lube, you go ahead and put it on the dildo, you put the pocket pussy to lube up the pocket pussy, you're in your shower, you go ahead, use the pocket pussy. If you're into anal stuff, you put the dildo in or the butt plug in your anus. If you have a partner in the shower, you go ahead and let her or him use that part, and then after you're done, you clean it up. Since you're in the shower, there's running water, you put it back together, you put it on your shower shelf, and everybody thinks it's shampoo, and you're not ashamed about having a sex toy in your shower, or just lube in your shower. Sometimes you just want to jerk off, and you have some lube on there.
It's like those shaving cream cans that are actually safes, that you can hide your belongings in, except it's even more valuable.
Yeah, it's something that...
No. I was just going to say, no, Chet, I actually have one of these.
Oh.
In fact, Peter, I need to give it back to you, man. I think I have ruined that thing.
Okay, well...
No, you can keep it, Jimmy. I don't need your used toys.
I feel bad. I haven't seen you in a while, and much prefer to give it back to you. If there's one thing, Hitler's. We got to share the thing.
Not at all. Definitely not.
None of that needs to continue.
We're gonna
you and me go into business. Hitler's gonna take over the world.
No, definitely not.
Nope. Long past that. Didn't work last time. Won't work ever again.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And
okay.
so.
All right. Well, vote Gary Newsom, y'all.
Oh,
right.
So we'll go ahead and say have a good night there. And
it was nice talking to you again, Jimmy.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jimmy. I appreciate it. So
peace out, bro. Love
y'all. Stay sex positive.
Love you too.
Wow. So that was very interesting there.
Give him a little more time because he was your brother.
Yeah.
No, I apologize for that again. I'm not, as you surmised from last time, and now you're getting a better picture of it. I'm not super close with most of my family. My dad and I have we have an uncomfortable business alliance right now. There's still a lot of history that we're working through and trying to get underway, but the business has been going decently as we're coming up with some ideas. But I mean, Jimmy's always been the kind of guy to glom onto other people's success, but he never grasps the work we're doing and what it took to get there. And it's just it's frustrating. And I'm sorry, once again you had to be in the middle of a H family personal matter.
All right. I mean, why haven't you changed your name? For those who are tuning in for the first time, Peter's last name is unfortunately Hitler, and so which we found out.
Birth name again. Ago. It's not a choice. I don't identify with it.
You could do Hiller or Hillman. Or
I mean, the thing is to change your last name legally, you have to advertise your name change in newspapers for like 6 weeks straight.
Like a business.
Yes.
Like an LLC?
Yes.
Like a DBA? Wow.
That is legally required in order to change your name, besides going through all the court systems and everything else. You have to prove that you publicly placed in a local newspaper for I think it's 6 weeks or 8 weeks, something like that, every single week, that what your name is being changed to and what it's being changed from. And it's like the Streisand effect or other things. At that point, most people don't know my last name because I don't tell them my last name. But now suddenly the newspaper is going to have the name in it for 6+ weeks and associated with the new name, so everyone's going to see it who never knew it. So I don't need that kind of publicity. Not that this is helping
Peter, sorry to interrupt you there, but when I started an LLC for my company, where I go around and I give sex tips live with couples there, to form an LLC, you have to go ahead and do that. And so you will go to you'll go ahead and do a there's websites that you can go to, and they actually have a LLC hosting where you go ahead and put in your last name. You put in it's a fake. It's a big sham. The whole thing's a sham where they will actually host this stuff. They'll put the name, and it's not really any type of publication, but they just say it's a publication. And so it's that you could go that route if you want. So
all right, get me the info for that offline, and I'll look at it, because I would be more than happy to leave this name and perhaps the whole family with it far behind.
So I wanted to bring up the fact that Diane and I have been trying to do the multiple couples orgasm. Diane needed to step out for a second so she could get some water, because our house is incredibly hot, and it's going back and forth between changing putting the AC on, which you could hear in the background, and not having it on. So I will go ahead and bring up the fact that we have been trying this multiple orgasms thing. I have gotten to a point. Peter, you weren't on this last show, but
good for you.
Yeah, we got this book that was called The Multiple Couples Orgasm, and so it talks about basically Taoism and how you can hone your orgasms so that you don't peak to a point, because an actual ejaculation shouldn't be associated with orgasm. It is actually ejaculation's a product of the orgasm. So if you're able to separate those two, you can go ahead and bring yourself up to orgasm and then pull yourself back. And it's all done through strengthening your PC muscle, which has a long actual
pubococcygeal.
There you go. That one that goes from your pelvic bone to your tailbone. And if you strengthen that, you can, and you flex that when you feel that you're at almost to the point of no return, you withhold your ejaculation. And so I gave it a test. We went about 15 minutes. I timed myself. I just focused. We did some sexual practice where I just masturbated with Diane and I. We just took turns stroking my penis, and I just breathed. It was a lot like meditation, where it was just like you focused on your breath, you focused on the feeling of your penis, and just cleared your mind of everything there. And then when you got to the point where you think you're going to orgasm, you kind of stop and you flex that muscle, and it feels like you're going to push out your cum so that you actually ejaculate, but it doesn't. And then it goes back, and you kind of like, you feel like it's resided, but then you have this little orgasm. It's not like and you come a lot. It's like, and then it goes back down. Then you start over, and then you keep on going. And then it gets to a point where you don't really have to stop stroking it. You can just flex that muscle, and then it will subside the ejaculating part, and it'll just have you have that little orgasm and then bring back. There's some downsides of this. Your genitals get very sore, and Diane got really sore, and I got pretty sore as well, just going for so long, but especially like on the shaft and whatnot. Diane gave it a shot herself. She started reading into how we'll have multiple orgasms for women so that we can go ahead and link them together. And she was doing some Kegel exercises.
That's correct.
And she got... She sprained her vagina. And so it actually got really tight and very sore.
But unpleasantly so, yes.
Yeah, and it was there was just like it was like one of her labia got really, like there was a knot in there almost. It was like a muscle, like a muscle sprain. It was very, I want to say interesting, but it was also very tragic and painful and caused a lot of anxiety. But so yeah, we haven't been having sex for the last couple of days, just letting her vagina have some time off there. So. But we will go ahead and talk about it more when we hopefully get to a point when we both are starting this at the same time. Whole lot of lube is needed if anybody's going to go ahead and give this a shot there. Do you guys have any questions about this, or?
I am just fascinated to hear how it goes.
Yeah.
And I have read some articles myself, and I am going to try it out for myself.
Yeah.
I mean,
as well.
Sting was famously into that.
By myself.
The tantric sex.
The tantric stuff.
Yeah.
It really, there's also a point that you can actually touch. It's on your perineum. It's about an inch to 2 inches from your anus that you can press on it, and that's a little helper there if you can't flex that PC muscle. Some exercises to flex that PC muscle is, I mean, you can do it, like I'm doing it right now, I'm flexing it. Like you can do it anywhere, but a good practice is while you're peeing, just to flex that, it stops your
the flow.
Urine, and then let it go. And then you can even push your urine out harder and then stop it. And so if I have to, if I'm driving home and I have to urinate, you just flex that, and then you don't have to, that urge to pee just goes away. So
I'd be curious to see if as a result of this, you're able to increase the velocity of your ejaculation. I've always been curious if that's an impact of that. I've done minor exercise with this, but never consistently like it sounds like you're doing. I was never committed enough, but I'd be very curious to see what sort of other effects it has besides the multi-orgasmic ones.
So the book and the Taoists believe, and also I've experienced this, is that when you choose to actually ejaculate and you have that last orgasm, is that it's not as large as, if you weren't withholding your orgasm and having a lot of these smaller ones. It's much smaller. So the Taoists believe that you want to maintain your sexual energy throughout, your life. And if you orgasm and you ejaculate, you lose that energy through ejaculation, that chi. Whether or not I believe in that, I don't know, but it is somewhat true just from the physiological point of it, where when you're done and you decide to orgasm, it's not as orgasmic, I guess. It's not as explosive. It's not like it's just like and then you're done. But what you can do is, like, when Diane was she orgasmed, and she didn't want to go again, and I didn't want to hurt her. And so I just was able just to click it back on and be like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and ejaculate now. And that was only took me like 10, 15 seconds, and I was able just to turn it on and ejaculate, and that was it. It was just like you could do it on command, and it's like, wow, you kind of feel like a sex superhero or something. But it's very interesting, and it kind of gets you more equipped. They call it sexual kung fu, which kung fu in Chinese just means practice. So don't think of masturbating is just pleasuring yourself. It's sexual kung fu. You're focusing on just practicing for sex. And so we're getting a little too hot in here, so we're gonna go ahead and end the show there, everybody. Thank you for calling in to the folks, to Colin and to Jimmy, and thank you so much, Wells and Peter. We are going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you for all of your guys' input tonight. I appreciate it. Please stay sex positive out there, and have a good night.